Welcome in, folks. Oh, let's see. I found a Helium Rich Boxel. For those of you just joining for the first time, we are out on DW3, and we're hanging out kind of in this area. Oh, you know what? I should do the headphone thing. Real pro-grade streamer here, folks. Alright, that made the switch. Did this. Good, it did. Alright. So we are out at the science waypoint right now on DW3, but I did find a Helium Rich Boxel, and we are going to go searching it this evening. It's probably going to take me a little longer than I actually have before the carrier departs, so I'm probably going to end up chasing down the carriers, but that's fine. Honestly, I've not been too pressed about the pace of things as it is. So, what we're going to do, I'm not going to use jet cone boost because that's just aggravating. So we are 10 jumps. That's not right. There we go. I gotta make 30 hard jumps to get back to the start of that voxel, which is not the worst thing. I've been just kind of screwing around on some exobios, so we'll get started on that and see where we end up. Welcome in, Trank. We are headed for a helium-rich voxel. Gonna go get into some voxel searching madness. And probably fall behind on DW3, but I'm okay with that. I did make it to the Void Sea. I did see the space mollusks and the ice crystals, both of which were a lot of fun. Honestly, I may stop back by there on my way to catch up to the carriers, because somehow I lost the screenshot. Took a screenshot of the ice crystals and lost it. We're in the Asp, not the one we wrecked. Well, it is the one we wrecked, but the kind folks on Distant Suns gave me a new paint job, so it's good as new. Never know. Never know I wrecked it. Keep forgetting I can do this. At least to get away from planets. I don't know that I'd recommend it long term in an ASP, but we'll see how it works. I do have Super Cruise Assist, so there will be no more Neil deGrasse Tyson around a planet. No more of that nonsense. We'll be hitting them and scanning them appropriately. I also actually grabbed the good scanner off my Caspian because I haven't really been using the Caspian, and it seems like a waste. Double tap! Thanks for dropping by, man. I appreciate it. Well, I'm starting off with something that's a little less fun. I'm going to do some hard jumping here. And I am absolutely going to skip by things, because I am just going to buckyball it and make my way over there. Let's see, I need to mute Buddy. It's right in my ear hole, and not in a pleasant way. That should do it. Alright. Yeah, we got a little bit of a haul. I bumped into it on the way to the Void Sea and bookmarked it and said, well, I can come back to that at some point, but honestly, it's not ginormous. It's like 139 systems minimum, according to Boxel stats, so It's actually a manageable size to tackle, and I have no idea when I'll be back up this way, so I decided I'm just going to go do it. Helium Rich Boxels have all kinds of neat stuff in them, so hopefully we find something cool out there. I have no idea. I've never really searched a Helium Rich Boxel. I know from stories and from looking through the codex that that is where the good stuff hides. And if you're wondering how to find one of those for yourself, let me get all these things up and not wreck into a star while I do it. So I use Elite Observatory Core, and it has all sorts of nifty little plugins and features, and one of those plugins and features is Boxel Stats, which will give you the name of the Boxel you're in, and once you've completed a system scan, it starts populating the planetary counts, how many of them are terraformable, things like that. It also keeps track of the observed helium percentage, which is how I know I found a helium-rich Boxel, and it tells you what the minimum system count is. So in the Boxel I'm in, which is Drutuia FX-Z C1 something, it's C19 in this case, but it could be any one of apparently 5 systems that are part of that Boxel. But I accidentally hit 2 of them in a row, because you have to go through 2 systems in the same Boxel to establish a helium baseline. And it came up at 30%, which I happen to know is over the threshold for what we consider a helium-rich Boxel. But I have got all that up hanging out on the side here, and that is how I determined that I had found one. Now, to do the actual searching, I will be using Elite Dangerous Journal Processor. I've already input the Boxel survey starting in that Boxel. It's Flyboya FT-F, the D12 Boxel. And it will automatically read the journal files, so when I enter that system, it will know I've entered that system, and it will go ahead and copy the next system I need to jump to onto my clipboard. So I don't have to do a bunch of alt-tabbing or clicking over or hunting down windows. God knows I have enough of those open as it is. But it makes Boxel searching very easy. Also has some other neat features while we're charging up here. So it also has a Boxel Explorer. It also has Boxel Explorer. Okay, it doesn't have Boxel Explorer right now. Oh, it opened somewhere. Where did it open? I don't know where it opened. It's behind something somewhere. Anyways, Boxel Explorer gives you a 3D cube, and you can migrate through the Boxel, and it will show you spatially within the cube that is a Boxel where the one you're in is located. You'll just have to trust me on that. If you've got EDJP and you've never clicked Boxel Explorer, give it a try. A lot of fun. But that is how I'll be handling the search pattern. And then, of course, I'll be using ED Observer and ED Exploration Buddy, which really kind of do double duty. It's between the Observatory Core Bioinsights and Evaluator plugins, you pretty much get all the same information you get from ED Exploration Buddy. It's just presented a little differently. Some of it makes more sense to look at in the other program. For me, I've got the screen real estate to spare, so I run them both. At least when I'm hardcore digging into something. If I'm just putzing around through the galaxy, it's usually just one or the other. Hey! Welcome in. You certainly didn't have to abandon poor Arcanic over there. This poor guy, he's never going to find that green giant, but I keep hoping. I'm going to die laughing if I find one in this helium Boxel. That will just be the cherry on the cake. I'll have to let him come get first mapped on it or something. Just out of pity. I did remember to have a drink tonight, so hopefully None of that business. I also realized for some reason my mute key was not doing its job last stream. I was coughing on everybody's ears, and for that I apologize. Oh, 23 jumps to go, so we're making pretty good time. I should have just stayed in that voxel and surveyed it in a kestrel. That would have been phenomenal. But I did not. Which side is that on? There's something behind me on the green screen, or where the green screen's folded wrong or something. Oh, it's my micro. Go figure. There you go. Let's move that so it's in a different part of the frame. Now I just feel silly. Well, I appreciate you stopping in. I know it's quite late over where you're at. I'm over here on East Coast US, so it's not terribly late for me. It's only 8:21 rather than 1:21. But at least there's a VOD if you want to go back and see how I fared. I don't figure I'll get through the whole voxel tonight. I'm not going to be moving at quite the prodigious pace Arcanic does. That guy just screams through systems, and I like to slow down, take my time. So I'll still be looking for plants and stuff. This wasn't actually the original plan tonight. I was going to continue looking for non-green tectonicas because I found a honey hole of sorts. I discovered as I changed my star filter to be all non-sequence stars so I could find them easier, and they're pretty slim pickings down where we are. But I noticed that right about the time you get up to -40, right as you start getting into the center of the galactic disk, they are just thick as thieves. Let me expedite this process. There we go. Not quite there yet. This map, there we go. You can see it. It's like a line. And as you pass out of the underworld there into Titari territory, they're thick. So I was going to go up and hit that, but I changed my mind. No, the way I read the post, and you may want to reread it, because I only read it once and I kind of moved on. But it seems like the next waypoint is where they want us to stock up on them. I didn't see... Of course, I also wasn't looking, but I didn't see any systems there that had the premium boost mats. I did run into a few between the Science Waypoint and Void Sea, though. I actually checked my inventory. I'm not too bad off. I've got... let's see, what have I got? I've got 88 basics, 33 standard, and 15 premium injections, which double your distance. It's still not as good as a neutron boost, but I didn't think I was quite that well off on the boost materials department. Boxels, okay. A boxel virgin, that's okay. So the galaxy is divided procedurally into cubes that are 1280 by 1280 by 1280 light years. And that is a box. Okay, this is going to get complicated. That's a voxel. It's also a sector. So every time you see a new sector name, you're in a new voxel. But then they nest within each other. They're hierarchical. So the biggest mass is an H-mass voxel, and then you have contained in an H-mass voxel 8 G-mass voxels. And in each one of those, there's, what is it, 64 F-max? You know, they just keep stepping down. Let me, if EDJP will cooperate here, and it's not going. You know what? There's more than one way to skin this cat. Where is this screen? It's got to be hiding here somewhere. Not there, not there. Not there. Is it behind here? It's got to be behind the game. Okay. Ah, it was behind the game. There we go. Now, give me one moment here to get everything else back up and pinned where I need it so I don't lose track of what's going on. You go there, you go there, you, WS. All right. Almost. Almost. Get me that one. And that one. Okay. So this is the Boxel Explorer tool. And as you move through the mass codes, it keeps nesting down, right? So there's your H. That's a sector that's 1280 by 1280. And then you step down to G, F. I'm going to be exploring a D Boxel. So it's fairly small within a sector. But it could contain up to a minimum of 139 systems. And you can kind of play with this if you want to see how changing the numbers, because so this is your Boxel address, it's the sector name, and then this 3-digit code identifier is the Boxel designator, and then you have the mass code and a sequence that occurs after that to identify, which D Boxel you're in, which sub Boxel. But if you play around with these tick boxes and watch it move, you can kind of figure out where you're at in the 3D space. AA-A is always the bottom left front corner, if that makes sense. But the important thing about voxels, and the reason they're worth searching, is the way Stellar Forge is coded in the game, a voxel will share similarities. That's how you end up with a Helium Rich Boxel. You have, the coding for that particular voxel that got generated determined that every system within that voxel is also helium rich or will fall within a set of parameters. So if you found an Earth-like world or several Earth-like worlds and they were all in the same system or within the same one or two systems of a voxel, it's a fair bet that the rest of that voxel is also going to contain more Earth-like worlds. So it's a good way to hunt a particular body, a particular plant, different things that you may want to seek. You can target your search a little better if you do voxel searching. Yeah, it's an Elite Dangerous Journal Processor. It's super lightweight. I mean, this is it. And it just reads your journal. It also gives that little readout at the bottom of the screen. You see some pop-ups down there. And it has some other tools. You can follow a neutron route in it. You can find the nearest carrier, like DSSA carrier. You can see what your current exploration data is. I just turned mine in, so it says I'm at 555,000. That's nothing too impressive. It also generates an Earth-like list. So these are... Whoops. Where'd we go? Come back. There we go. If I come down here and hit Find New Entries, it will pull up all of the Earth-like worlds I've ever found. Now, I haven't found one since I changed my commander name. It used to be Howlin' Mad Murdoch, but the quotations gave everybody fits trying to search me to friend me, so I did away with that. But it gives you the sector name, the distance to Sol, who discovered it, your discovery date, any notes, if you've got a screenshot. You can kind of set it up to do more, but really I just use it to convert my screenshots and to do voxel searching, and to give me the little readout thing. How's Pete? I was listening to one of your videos on the drive home from work the other day. I saw you weren't a fan of the kill warrant scanner. Not that I blame you. The only time I ever use it is for combat when I'm bounty hunting. And if I couldn't bind it with my beam lasers and just quit thinking about having it, it wouldn't be worth it to me then. I did a CG way back when and got a A-rated and a C-rated fast scan long range one. And I found that the A-rated was way overkill 99% of the time. So I usually just use the C. Not nearly as power hungry. We were over here having a quick Boxel Survey Masterclass. I'm not going to call it a TED Talk because I don't know enough about them to call it a TED Talk. There are certainly more knowledgeable folks out there. And honestly, Jason, if you want to know about Boxel's Arcanix the guy, he has forgotten more about the generation mechanics of this game than most of us will ever learn. It's fairly disturbing. It's fun to watch him nerd out about it, though. Need to quit yapping and keep jumping. We're about halfway there. That's not too bad. I'll take that for the first 20 minutes. Means I'm more or less staying on pace. I think I have forgotten to honk a few times, but that's okay. Just in travel mode anyways. Trying to scooch on through and get where I'm going. Hey, let's not cook ourselves. That seems like a poor choice. I don't know what roast Murdoch tastes like, but I doubt it's any good. I did finally make Triple Elite, which I was very happy about. When I got to the carrier and turned in my data, it was just enough to push me over into Elite Exobio. So now I have 3 of them. If I can just get Combat and Mercenary up there, I'll be set. I don't know who's actually Elite in CQC or how many years they spent trying to do it, but I won't be one of them. That I can assure you. Yeah, anytime, Jason. Happy to explain what I do know. Like I said, if you want to know more, Arcanix the guy, or if you're in his Discord, the Independent Explorers Association, lots of the guys in there are real knowledgeable on very niche Stellar Forge mechanics. They're their own little think tank. I mostly sit in there and read. Trank, you will probably be elite in exploration by the end of the expedition, I would imagine. Exobio 2, maybe. I don't know. You've been hammering it a little harder than I did. I stopped at 7 billion-ish and bought my carrier and haven't done a ton since then until we were out here on DW. So if you work at it, you may hit it before we get back. Yeah, I think I'm trade 3. Explorer 2 and just made Exo, so I'm on the way. I'll take what I can get. I figure they'll get there in time. Hearing noises. Now that I think about it, I think it was the screen door over there. Oh, I'll bet it is. I took the pin out of the piston to move a couch in the other day. I don't think I put it back. Should probably see to that at some point in the near future before the wind decides to take it. I'm trying not to think about all the stuff I'm leaving behind, because it does bother me. It gives the tism a twitch, for sure. But sometimes you just gotta put your head down and get where you're going. I mean, I hate to leave anything, especially anything I've like first discovered just the primary star and then moved on, because I run into those all the time where people have just shot through the region. And part of me says I should stop and look, but the other part of me says there's 400 billion possible destinations in this game. We've explored like 0.07% of it, and it just doesn't matter. Alright, Jason, no worries, man. Thanks for swinging in. Have a good night, man. Get some rest. It is quite late over there. I'm not sure how long I'll be going tonight. For sure until at least 10:30. I may go later. I'm pretty well rested. I'm feeling pretty good. I haven't looked to see what tomorrow's weather holds for me. Suppose I ought to poke my nose in the weather and do that, huh? 54 and rain. I can't think of a less appealing set of conditions to haul mail in. Honestly, that's about the worst condition to haul mail in. 40s and 50s and the good steady rain is a pretty solid recipe for hypothermia if you're not really paying attention, so I guess I better layer up. Remind some of the new guys to do the same and do their best to stay dry. I don't know what you're thinking about getting into, Bella, but don't do it. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You've been so good, don't ruin it now. Yeah, Trank, it looks like it's going to rain the rest of the week, unfortunately. That's just the nature of it, though. Honestly, they could be. I mean, I'd rather rain than snow at the end of the day. By a long shot. The rain is only miserable while you're in it. The snow just wears you out, and it's slippery, and of course the mud's slippery too. But yeah, pick your poison, right? I wish I could turn that ring light down just one more notch. It's washing me out a little bit. But if I turn it down one more notch, it doesn't cooperate with the green screen, and I've already got it set fairly aggressively. Guess I need some better backdrop lighting. Someday, somewhere. Over the rainbow, birds fly. Shelly! Welcome in. What's up, girl? How's the Apex been going? I put you on, I think it was last night. And then, no. Last night I was watching Delta, because I passed out watching Delta. So it must have been the night before I did the same thing to you. I pulled your stream up, hit like, left it running, and crashed. Oh, we're doing okay. I made the Distant World Science Waypoint. But on the way, I found an interesting helium-rich area I'm going to have to go check out. So that's what I'm headed to. Yeah. Apex ASMR. I actually did one night streaming Elite that way, and it was surprisingly well trafficked. I was amazed that 75 odd people sat there for an hour watching me play Elite with no, voiceover of any kind, just the game audio. I can see how it would be, good snoozer music, though. I've put Delta's video up of the exact same thing on for the purpose of going to sleep, and I imagine it helps the watch time a lot. How's the wild card been treating you over there? I noticed you made ranked and then started playing wild card again. Too late. Trying to see how far I got to go still. I've been mixing it up. I got you. Hopefully it's not raining up there where you are. I know down here in the Midwest U.S. we are getting a fairly soul-crushing drizzle going. Almost a gold 3. There you go. I am not much of a shooter player. I never... Well, I can't say never. When I was playing, Nintendo 64 way back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I played an awful lot of GoldenEye and stuff like that. In the PC world, though, I used to play a fair bit of Counter-Strike, I guess, so I can't say I've never played him. Oh. Rainforest. Up north of the border. What are you, over on, Vancouver Island or something? You must be way over on the west end. I'm over here on the snowy end. Snowy end and south. Yeah, that tracks. I'd actually like to see Vancouver Island one of these days. My ultimate plan is to retire to a sailboat and just, shove off and say to hell with the world since it's already headed that direction. And I would very much like to go see Alaska by sailboat, so who knows? Maybe I'll work my way up the coast over there and swing by and see the island. It is gorgeous. Washington, Oregon, that whole section of coast is just a beautiful landscape. It's a lifestyle. It's a vibe. That's what it is. And honestly, when you look at the numbers, like if you're living on the boat and you're mooring out and not paying dockage fees, it's surprisingly cheap. Boat repairs aside, which you're gonna have to claim for those, but it's not a bad way to spend a few years. I don't think. I wish I'd had that urge when I was younger. I might have done things a little differently and started that way. At the rate I'm going, I'm going to be a busted up old mailman by the time I get out there. But I can't think of a better way to see the world. And as much as it may be a shock, streaming and jumping into Discord and, being pretty active in the community, I am not a social person. I could just as easily and just as happily sit here in complete silence and play by myself or read a book or sit out in the yard with a book of Sudoku puzzles or something. So I think I would be very well suited to boat life. Okay. More like a riverboat then. Because when I think houseboat, I think like the big lake boats that are, 2 stories and ridiculous. But you're talking something more like a converted trawler or something that's, 400 or 500 square feet. Those things are pretty good. I've seen videos of guys that like buy them and, you know, completely refit them and set them up to be basically a big houseboat. Yeah, it'd be an ocean trawler would probably be the way to go then. Oh, a converted tug would be awesome. Probably be hell on fuel, but man, that would be a neat. Just imagine sitting up in the pilot house with all that glass, or be like my Asp Explorer here. Everywhere you look, something to see. That would be really cool. I'll bet the maintenance on them's more expensive though, because they've got the directional props. Well, some of them are, multi-prop too. And then you got to worry about the mechanism that rotates and gimbals all that. So it would be amazing though. I'm thinking something like a 38 to 42 foot sailboat. Nothing too massive. And really, 42 is probably a little bigger than I want. Probably more like 30 to 34. Just big enough that if I get one that's, a fixed keel and good heavy displacement, it's pretty safe on the ocean. Yeah, I've never looked at a tug license. I know down here you don't need any particular license to captain your own sailboat, as long as or people that are not crew are on the boat. If you are taking on crew or paying passengers, you need to have at least your Coast Guard 6-pack, and that's somewhat hard to obtain. Probably in reality no harder than a driver's license, though. And then from there you work up through like the merchant tiers, which are all tonnage based and stuff, but for what I want to do, I wouldn't need to worry about it. Oh, you need one up there for any boat with an engine? That's wild. I know down here, any boat under a certain tonnage, you don't need it. Huh. So we have something similar in most states. but it only applies if you're like under 16. It's basically a jet ski license, right? And it's like the equivalent of a hunter safety course, only it's for watercraft. But outside of that, I mean, you're free to buy a boat and take it out on the ocean and be stupid all you want. With or without anybody's guidance or intervention. May not be the smart way to do it, but, you know, the possibility exists. If I get to the point where that becomes a reality, I think I'll probably go ahead and get my six-pack. I won't need it, but, you know, it's nice. It can add a little credibility if you're going in somewhere and, you know, they don't want the riffraff hanging about. At least you can demonstrate you know what you're doing to a degree. Wow. I can't imagine that. I mean, I can, because I was really aggravated to find that the state of Ohio requires me to license my kayak, which is well, you know, it's a small paddle craft that literally you can pick up and carry with you. Not necessarily. It would depend on the countries I were going to. Same with the radio license. I'm already a licensed radio amateur, so I know what I need to know to pass the radio exam already, but if you're like making contact with foreign countries, they want you to have your marine license too. Yeah, it varies state by state down here. Like if I go just south down to Kentucky, they could care less. Canoes, kayaks, things like that, you don't need any. Well, you don't need a license for them. You don't need to register them. In Ohio, I have to pay like $15 a year, or every 3 years. It's every 3 years. Basically pay for a sticker saying I own the damn thing. Like, who's gonna steal a kayak? Could just as easy paddle around on a plastic garbage tub. But that's neither here nor there, you know. I understand it for what it is. It's a way for them to make money off me. Because there's no legitimate reason to require you to register a kayak. Like, what are you going to do, a bank heist in a kayak? I'd like to see that getaway video. But we'll see. One of these days, after I've made my millions carrying mail, you know. Assuming I'm still able-bodied enough to go do that. How close am I getting here? Oh, next jump. Cool. Get the travel portion out of the way. So I'm going to drag Boxel stats over. And you guys can watch that. Nope. Well, you could watch it update. If it didn't go away. I'm here. Oh. Gotcha. Yeah, go do what you gotta do, girl. I'll be here. I'll be here for at least 2 or 3 hours, I'd say. Just gonna leave Boxel stats up and realized I'd hit the star. There we go. So it's updated now to the current Boxel I'm in, and the minimum system count has actually gone up when I scanned the second one. It's now saying 174. But it's already tabulating as I go what I've discovered, like how many were landable, how many had atmospheres. Which ones I full scanned and all that, but there's my helium percentage. So it's between 30.062 and 30.448. Or 449, I guess, if we round it correctly. Big beams, small multis, experiment fail. Yeah, that sounds painful, Pete. That sounds like a rapid path to overheating. Depending on how you engineer the beams. But I would expect on a small ship with 3 large hardpoints, that's probably a little more beam that it can handle. I haven't actually played with it in a combat sense at all. The only one I've got's out here on my DW3 save, and I'm not putting any arcs into my alt account. I figure spending money on this game twice and buying stuff on one account's enough. How do the How do those, like, fancy shock cannons they gave us do? I know they're basically a cheat to remove needing to engineer the plasma accelerators with slugs. Oh, really? Power plant limitation. Huh. Didn't see that coming. Well, no, I guess I kind of did. What was I doing? Because I was playing with it. I've been playing with it in Coriolis, fantasizing for my return here. And I have noticed that as I get more combat geared builds, it does start to get a little power hungry, which is good in my opinion. I was really worried that it was going to be too easy to just have an absolute gank mobile with it, and it seems like it may be a little better balanced than I gave it initial credit for, which I'm happy about. I know I've had a little fun out here patching it together with pieces and parts. I don't have much out here with me though. I think I've got a couple of overcharged multis and a few efficient pulse lasers, or maybe lightweight more likely, because I had them on the Caspian. But I don't have anything to shoot at, so what's the point, Okay, after that voxel, the observed helium didn't change. Doesn't look like I found anything terribly interesting. I've closed buddy somewhere along the way here. Let me get that back up. Nothing else here worth seeing. And if everything is working correctly, I should just have to come up here and Control V, and it did give me the next voxel, 12-1. How about them apples? I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, I kind of figured they'd be close range. I mean, the guys that like running fragmobiles are going to love that. And from what I hear, it's not that hard to get on something and stay right in behind it, so maybe that works out well. I was flying it around in VR a little bit this morning. Enough that I did make myself somewhat queasy. I was, kicking off flight assist and doing some stuff I probably had no business doing. Large multis and small beams. All right. That's my standard loadout anyways. That's what I like to run. It's what my Federal Assault ship's running right now. I do want to get better with fixed weapons. I'm not very good with fixed weapons. I generally end up running gimbaled, but I got time for all that. We'll get it nailed down eventually. Is that really it? Just the 2 stars? Okay, Bert. Well, let's see if we're still working correctly. Now I should get 12-2. Nope. Why didn't it give me 12-2? Did it not count the system as scanned? There's nothing to scan here. I'd have to manually increment the voxel. Not sure why that didn't update. This is going to make a mess on ED Astro. Well, not a mess, I guess. If all goes according to plan, right, I'll have one of those perfect little cubes of well-traveled space. So far, nothing too interesting, though. I've actually never gotten to survey a Helium Rich Boxel, so I'm excited even if I don't find anything, because it is the first of what I'm sure will be many over my elite career. There's a lot of people that spend an awful lot of time out hunting them, Good lord, 32 bodies. I'll be in the FSS scanner for days. Now, it incremented at that time because I left. I wonder if it's because I had it minimized. Maybe it just wasn't quite picking up what I was putting down. Well, that annoys me. I guess I can cover part of my stream up with it. Yeah, that'll work. Let's see. Looks like we got some high metals, some belts, a couple of giants, and rocky bodies. I'd like to see that. That's the star type, but I'm sure... Oh, it was scoopable because I scooped on it. I'm still going to keep like one eye open. If we hit any T-Taris or brown dwarfs, I would still very much like to find some non-green Tectonicas. Somebody subscribed. Real pro here. Sherry Mike 61. Thanks, man. Or ma'am. Welcome in. Glad you're enjoying it. I need another screen. That's all there is to it. I am out of room. Horribly, horribly, horribly out of room. And you would think 3 would be enough. But apparently it's not. Really, I need to run fewer programs. That's the key here. Let's see, we got a fast orbit and a nested body there. Or nested moon. I do like that Observatory gives you all those notifications too. Not really what I'm after, but it's still fun to know about. Another nested moon. That is actually another feature of Observatory. So I've got several of these popped out so they won't show, but what is it, Explorer? Oh, I have Explorer popped out too. I don't need that popped out. Go away. So it actually keeps like a running log of the interesting things you found. Like that planet with the fast orbit, it's got a 5.8 hour orbital period, so pretty quick. I mean, you could conceivably sit on it and watch some things go round and about. I think the most interesting feature of it is probably colliders. I've never found one, and I've hit read all, so it is, even when I'm not running it, it goes back and scans all my other journal files. But if it finds 2 bodies that are going to collide, it will give you the system, the 2 bodies that are in collision, what the period is, what the estimated next one is, and how long the collision is, things like that. So it's got some fun side features, kind of. Maybe I'll find one someday. Call that my my green gas giant. I want to find a collider. Well, let me rephrase that. I want to find a collider with a high enough occurrence that I can actually witness it. Because it seems like most of them are like years or months from happening when people find them and they just forget to go back and actually watch it happen. Which is understandable. I mean, if I find one that's clear out here on the other side of the galaxy, especially if I, found one pre-Caspian days, that's a long trip just to watch 2 things run into each other. Doesn't matter how cool it is. It's a lot of hauling. But you'll have that from time to time, I guess. Ah, there we go. All premium boost materials. In system, so in just the things I've scanned, I guess. It doesn't mean they're easy to obtain, or that they're high enough percentages to make mining worthwhile. It just means they're all present in the system. Which was a little bit more helpful in the days before the Caspian and the higher range ships in general. Back when people were out here in nothing but a barely engineered or unengineered DBX, knowing that the system you were stuck in, hey, gas giant with water life, knowing the system you were stuck in could provide you the way to escape was important information. Still isn't terrible information. I could certainly stand to do some SRV mining. I've got more than a couple mats that are low. Is that a ring? That is a ringed landable body. Okay, we have to go check that out. You find so few of those. That's kind of neat looking. I really do love gas giants. It's a problem. Oh, crystalline shards. Oh, yeah. Is that the actual prediction? I do find observatory core is more accurate on the biological predictors. That is the only prediction. That means it's pretty well guaranteed to be there. Huh. Is that on my spreadsheet? What is what on my spreadsheet? The gas giant with water life? It might be. I doubt it, though. They're not that uncommon. A water giant with water-based life is probably on there. Ringed landable, that might be on there. Let me look. Didn't even think about that. Where did I stick that? Right there. So what Trank is talking about in chat there, I used Grok to kind of comb through and come up with a little stellar scavenger hunt and like kind of come up with a point system, because originally we were going to do it as a squad exploration event. And it's probably biting off a little more than we want to chew for an event, because it's a lot of super rare stuff. Come on, get over there. So we've got, a helium gas giant. That's one of the rarest things in the game. Landable planet with thin ammonia-rich atmosphere. We know about like 10 of those. Binary neutron, there's only one of those known. So this is the rare thing, you know. Rogue landable body. Landable with pure neon. Ringed Earth-like. Oh, come on, scroll on down there. There we go. Metal rich with sulfur dioxide. Helium rich gas giant. Does not appear that just any old ringed landable is on here. Good thought, though. Good thought. I will have to keep an eye out for things on there. I do look over and try to, refresh my memory of what's on it every couple days. There's our metal rich. That might be a good place to do some SRV mining. Not too keen on doing that right now. I actually find that to be much easier in VR than on flat screen. I'm not sure why, because being in the SRV in VR is somewhat nauseating. And I realized this morning that since I haven't been using my headset for a little over a week now, my tolerance has kind of gone down. I was only good for about 2 hours and it was starting to get a little queasy, so might have to try the fan trick. Get a little USB fan I can clip on the monitor corner or something. I mean, I'm not that bothered by it. Honestly, when I'm doing exploration like this, it's easier to do it on flat screen anyways. I've got too many things to keep them all pinned appropriately in VR. That quickly turns into a mess, and then it starts to saturate the link cable trying to play the game and have all the windows, pinned up around it. So this is probably just for the better. There's another fast orbit over there. How fast of an orbit are we talking? 6.2 on both of the other two. And it says 5 of 6 premium boost materials. The only one missing is polonium. I beg to differ. There's crystalline shards. Alrighty, Trank. Make a cup for me. Chai with a splash of honey, if you would. Alright, let's go check out that planet. Hopefully it's got some crystalline shards. Oh, good lord. I'll tell you what, next time I land on a DW3 fleet carrier, I'm going to call up the Mandalay. I hate the ship, but this is an untenable distance to deal with without it. Especially while I'm trying to stream. That's alright, though. We've got things we can go look at and kill some time. Actually, do I keep traveling while I'm in there? I'm going to assume so, because I'm still at 17C. So, if it climbs by the next time I go look, we'll know for sure. So, what I'm going to go hopefully verify is crystalline shards. And there is only one example of them in this region, apparently. So maybe we're about to find a new one in this sector, an actual new one. That would be pretty cool. Where was this one located in relation to us? Also, quite a bit north up towards the rim there. Not too bad. It would be nice to have a source of polonium that close to the waypoint. If I confirm that, I guess I'll throw that up in the Distant Worlds Discord. We're going to play a dangerous game here and try to knock some time off this. This thing is garbage in SEO. Try not to cook anything too badly. I suppose I should verify that that's a fuel star too. Where am I headed to? BC5. So I'm headed to BC5. It isn't actually around a star. I guess I better not cut it too close on the fuel use then. That could lead to an unpleasant experience. I can only imagine the crap I would catch in the Fuel Rats IRC if I had to pop in there and request a Fuel Rat. Being as how I am a Fuel Rat. I imagine there's a very special kind of shame for that. I think we got one more good burst in us after this. Did I screw anything up yet? Not yet. I'm doing pretty good. You know what? 33,000. That's like 2 minutes of travel. That I think we can handle. That's not terrible. Real cool if that's got crystalline shards on it, though. I don't really see anything else I want to look at other than this body, because it's also... Is this the ringed landable? Maybe not. What was the ringed landable? Ringed landable was BC5. Oh, that's where I'm going. Is BC5 not the one with the crystalline shards on it? No, that's BC1. Yeah, well, we'll be in the neighborhood. All good things eventually. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and get the Mandalay out here. Although, realistically, I don't mind it when I'm not in VR. I really don't like that cockpit in VR. I can't give you a good reason for it. Meow. I still managed to do it. I can't give you a good reason. Something about it feels wrong in VR. I think it's the little nubs that stick up in your vision. Maybe someday I'll get my DBX Mark II and it'll be SEO stable. Or maybe someday they'll just give us a conversion module. Like, even if it takes up a slot, I'm okay with that. I mean, I would rather it don't, because on the Aspire, you know, in terms of modules, I've already pretty well got it filled out. I don't really have room for... I do. I have to give something up. And I already give things up when I'm in the ASP over the Phantom anyways. So I don't want to give up more things for a conversion module. But if it got me SEO, I guess I'd kind of get on board with that. Well, it's dim out here between the stars. Get rid of Super Cruise so that goes away. Oh. I've gone and targeted something else. Boy, it's real dim out here. Welcome back. You missed all the Super Cruise. All that exciting staring at nothing. I can think of worse things, though. Excuse me. This is all very dim and very brown. Well, it's a BC and it's fairly far away, right? So it's between two stars and also quite a ways out. Also, it's a moon. Oh no, that's the sea I'm looking at. That's the one we're at. Yeah, it's out there a little ways. Unfortunately, I really am mildly irritated when I find cool things that are so far away that they're not a very good picture. Let's see. What's a good way to do this? Maybe... Well, let's start by rotating the ship. See if I can get some light on the ship. I think that's about the best I can manage. Alright, maybe something like this. Yeah, that could work. I like the way that angle works. Hey, there we go. Get it out and away from the planet, get some scale. I don't have a lot of shots with the ship in the top of the screen. That might work. I'll take it. Yes. Taking a look in the natural light drink. That is exactly what I was doing. Alright, let's scan it just because I'm here. I'm going to take all 3 tags on this bad boy. Because it is the first ringed landable I've found. And it says 7 probes, but this is the pre-engineered probe, and I'd be willing to bet 4 will do the job. If not, it's going to be real close. Hell, 2 almost did the job. Got it. Just barely, I think. Might as well get the rings. Looks like there is an A and a B. Anything fun hiding in those? A couple of hotspots. What do we get? A whole lot of monazite, some alexandrite, some muscovite, and some benetot. I don't know how you say that. Looks French. I'm a hilljack from Ohio. I just let the funky music do the talking. Now, let's think about this here. What's going to give the best view of the rings from the ground? Where are they the best lit? That way. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Just a real narrow, well-lit portion. Fortunately, the galaxy disk is over there. Yeah, I'm just going to have to live with it. I think it is this side I land on. People always have those really cool thumbnails and screenshots, and this is the work you don't see going into it. Sometimes you gotta fly around and screw around trying to find exactly where to go.
Orbital flight engaged.
Yeah, I think I want the top edge over here. Getting a little too close here. Actually, oh, I like that better. I like that much better. Let's come down on the dark side in the natural light and get the galaxy behind the rings. Oh, that's infinitely cooler. Very happy with that. See, I almost missed that because I was screwing around looking the other way. I was all focused on that light spot over there. Lost it. Where'd it go? It's behind the planet now. This should be close enough, I think. I don't think I'll lose that over the horizon. I might. Let's go a little further. Yow. Let's just get the night vision on and get that out. You know, headlights too. All the way around. I have shields this time, so I am better off than the last time. And the brandy is there. I can't lose another case. If I do, I have to fly back and get it myself. On the other hand, I could crash into the planet. That would give me an excuse to go back and re-engineer the Kestrel and the Cobra Mark V. It's a thought. Not a pretty one, but it's a thought. 60 kilometers, and I do need to actually be careful. The gravity is 0.9. I did put some bigger thrusters on here, though. I think I put the Ds back in. Nope. I thought I put the 5Ds in. I put the 4Ds in. So we will have to be a little ginger of any time now. Are we going to glide? There we go. This is going to be mildly terrifying. Where's Delta when you need him? He'd be loving this. He'd be like, oh, turn off your night vision. Let's see it in natural light. Not gonna get me with that one twice, buddy boy. Boy, I'm glad I'm in the ASP. I'd never find anywhere to put the Caspian down on this mess. On the bright side, I might be able to get some mountains in the shot too. That would be really cool. Is there anything good right here? Let's try right here and try to get those mountains in the shot. See if that'll work. I'll go ahead and throttle it back and see how we do. I'll spiral in and bleed some speed here. Okay, not terrible. Yeah, it's certainly had some geology in its life. Lost my rings. Where are my rings? Oh, right there. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. You know, it suddenly occurs to me it's dark. It's okay. Can I still make this work? Yeah, I think what I do, because it is dark and that won't show in the screenshot. I think I get up here. I might have to do this one on foot, to be honest. I'll try to put it right here on top of this mountain. And then
Landing gear deployed.
zoom it back enough that I frame the galactic disk and the rings through the mountains. That would be cool. I do not have a lot of hope for a good landing site up here. And by good, I mean anything the game will take. Hmm. It's got to be somewhere. Oh, you hear that creaking? That was actually something I meant to check. How is the game audio, guys? As I noticed when I watched back the last stream, it was pretty low. I could not hear very much of the game at all. Not the pets I was worried about. The game. Can you hear the game? It's like the asp is creaking an awful lot here, and that's kind of a neat thing. Oh, come on, you're so close. There we go. Not where I wanted to be, but I'll take it. Actually, this may work out just fine. Hopefully OBS doesn't start throwing a fit. It doesn't like static images. It thinks it's dropped the stream. That's pretty good, but I think I can do a little better. Let's see what I can manage. And you can hear it a bit, but not very much. Let's see. That's pretty loud in my ears, but it might be just about right in yours. Oh, this is going to be... I don't have any night vision engineered on my suits. So this will be interesting. Ah, that's fair. Well, if it's too loud, let me know, and we'll do some more adjusting. This is a nearly Earth gravity planet. That's not going to make for very quick travel, is it? I'm really pretty convinced that they did quite a bit of tweaking to the on-foot noises as part of the Kestrel update. I'm sure in preparations for operations to drop. The commander's making, I mean, the footsteps are a little different. I hear that the guns are different. Oh, that is different. A lot more bass in it than I remember. I like that. That's okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're on a high gravity. Well, relatively speaking, a high gravity. Higher than I typically land on anyway. I remember that being more centered between two mountains. Are we rotating that fast? I don't even see the rings. Gonna have to go with that first one. I could spend 3 hours out here trying to set up the perfect screenshot. But in the dark, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. I got one good one with the rings. I think I better just take my my winnings and leave. Actually, let's I'm going to very quickly throw that up in the Discord. Right about, yeah. There we go. And if you guys want to hang out in Discord, here's the link. I don't use my own channel. That's Delta's, Delta1246. You should also go and check him out. But that's where I hang out. That's kind of the community I'm a part of, so I server. God knows there's enough of them out there. But certainly go check Delta out. He streams on Mondays and Wednesdays and does Elite and No Man's Sky. Depending on what's going on. When the expeditions for No Man's Sky drops, he spends a fair bit of time speedrunning those. And he also does some Satisfactory in there. I don't think I actually posted the right screenshot. Yeah, because I can hardly see the rings at all. Okay, I am gonna have to take another one. I'm not leaving without my rings in the galaxy. I think I'm just gonna have to take it from flight. Which, honestly, I don't know why I didn't think of that to start with. Now I feel a bit silly. Oh, hell yeah. That's the money shot. There we go. Alright, let's go see about those crystalline shards. Planet were those on? More importantly, which tool tells me what planet they're on? BC1A. Alright, let's go check out BC1A. Very happy with that screenshot. It was a lot more work than it needed to be, but very happy with it. That is a good-looking screenshot. Better not do that. Looking at fuel, that may not be the best idea I've had. Somewhere along the line, I've gotten my my swizzle stick inverted. I need to fix that. Is that under headlock mode? I think that's what I had wrong. Yeah, that was it. Okay. Let's try and get this planet directly behind us where it belongs. Since I'm gonna have to wait until I fuel up to hit the SCO again here. Oh, this is painful. Come on, baby. I know you're an oldie, but you're a goodie. Okay, I'm gonna chance it. Ooh, fuel reserves at 25%. Been a long time since I saw that warning message anywhere but an SRV. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can't jump out and I have to slow super cruise over to the nearest star, which is not the end of the world. High price to pay for that screenshot, though. But I suspect we'll be okay. Since I'm jumping around the Boxel, and it is a D-mass Boxel, so I'm thinking it's like 20 light years between stars. It's not terrible. I think the last jump was 23, so should be A-okay. I think my dog's starting to lose her marbles, standing here staring at the stairs. Don't you chew on that bone? Yeah, you. That wasn't an invitation. Hi. Yeah? You wanna come say hi? Can you get that high? Maybe? Good dog. Most days. Most days you're a good dog. Oh, that 5,000 light years goes a lot longer than I thought it would. I was really counting on the dog to make up the content there. It doesn't seem to have worked out quite that well. I hear gremlins. I don't know what the gremlins did. They're really good about turning the headlights or the night vision on. I did fix the targeting one. I made it a long press. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. There might be a better picture of her up in Post Your Pets in the Discord. Couldn't tell you where. It's been a minute ago. Pretty sure I stuck one up when we were out hiking. Is there anything else fun in this system? Close binary relative to body size. Fast orbits, several of those, several nested moons. All surface materials are in this system, all premium boost. On another planet, in this voxel? Yeah, this voxel. And the only thing we're missing is polonium, which I'm fairly certain, because there is a biosign here, and an observatory. The Bioinsights panel is listing crystalline shards as the only possibility. And it does a pretty good job predicting what it is. I know with ED Buddy, it'll give you a big long list. Elite Observatory doesn't. It's usually spot on. If it's not, it'll give you like 3 or 4 potentials and narrow it down when you scan the first one, which eliminates other possibilities. And that's all coded with like the canon data, so it's got to meet all the criteria for it to be possible, and then it gives you the most likely ones. So I would say there's a pretty good bet that there are crystalline shards on this planet. Which is funny, because in all the time I've played Elite, I don't think I've ever found them at all. Like, I don't remember finding them. And this will be the second week on DW in a row that I found one. Or maybe there's a week in between. I can't remember for sure. No, it's the second week in a row, because I found the last one between Beagle and the last waypoint. You've never seen them, Drake? Well, this isn't that far from the science carrier if you want to pop over here. I'm sure in a Caspian it wouldn't take you... I mean, it's probably a half-hour trip out. Be about 20... That's my jump range. It's like pushing 70 in this thing, isn't it? Yeah, just a touch over. So in your Caspian, probably about the same. I was, call it 30 jumps from the carrier. And you need to fill up on polonium anyways, don't you? Oh, it's not very well lit. That could make mining a little more troublesome than it needs to be. Let's see if just one probe will do it. That's a 2-probe planet. I ought to be able to land on that and see the back of my head over the horizon. What's the range on your Mandalay? Probably wouldn't be far behind it. I did get it in one hit. I love that pre-engineered scanner. And we have crystalline shards. This does look like it would be a good mining spot, though, because it's also got lava spouts and fumaroles and vents. I do believe we're going to have to go down to that. For one, I want to scan the crystal shards. Unless you want to come grab them, Trank. I will go down and mine, and you can come scan them if you want the codex hit. I don't remember what they're worth. 1.63 million times like 4 or 5. Actually.
Orbital flight engaged.
ED Buddy will give me a better answer when I get on the planet. I was finding some magenta tubus somethings. What were they? Tubus cavus, magenta. They were worth like 60 some odd million. I was doing XO earlier. It's a sickness, I'm telling you. Especially now that I'm going to like try and hunt specific color variations. Well, I've found tubus before, but I hadn't found that particular species. Usually I found the ones that are worth like, what, 20, 25 mil? And these ones were in the high 60s, so... I was doing pretty good. I found several planets in the same system that had them on it, so I made pretty good money. That's what... oh, no, that was the planet I was on at the start of the stream, so... If you want to go clean up the mess I left where I didn't finish that system out, just go back and take a look at where I started at. That system had 9 or 12 biologies in it, and for sure 3 or 4 of them are that tubus. If there are crystal shards here, I am excited, because this is really flat. And that means it's going to be easy to mine on. Unless they're only located in the aggravating places to mine, which is generally how it works. Oh, and they're pretty spaced out, too. On the last planet I was on, they were like a forest. I suppose there's probably instances of that, though. Ah, yeah, there's one right over there.
Landing gear deployed.
And they are worth 8.14 million with the first discovery bonus. They are easy to pick out. That does make it helpful. Kind of like the tubus, right? They stick up nice and tall and they're very distinct. Let's go discover us a codex entry. This is kind of cool. I get to discover the only the second example of it in this sector. It's not the first example in the sector, but it's the second one. I'll take what I could get. You know, 10 years in, this game's got a little bit of length in the tooth. And before I scan it, I'm gonna see if it has the material I seek. I should be able to blow that crystalline shard off there, or that chunk off, and gather polonium. Antimony. Okay, that's new and different. Alright, where did I put the cargo scoop? Apparently I didn't. Someday, I'll have all this mapped. Again. Oh, because it's doubled up with night vision, that's why. There we go. That's all. Now, do I have both is the question. Yes. Well, I think I need, yeah, I definitely need antimony. I don't have much of that either. And by much, I mean I had one. I will have to let Andy know. We were wondering if they were always polonium, because he thought they were. And it would appear that at least sometimes they can be other things. Get the bioscan on it too. Still weird to me that this is considered biology, but who am I to gripe? Now let's see, does that show up in the codex, or do I have to turn it in is the question. At least the question I have. It does show up. It's not, it won't show reported, I guess. Well, no, somebody must have found it before, because it's showing me as confirming it. But it's not the reported location, unless you only get a confirmed... Hang on. I may have gotten excited for nothing. Reported. Reported. Confirmed. Yeah, okay, so I confirmed it for the region by finding a second example, but I don't get my name on it. Damn it. Oh well. Is there another one? realized how loud that spectral scanner on this thing is. Alright, so we've got antimony. Is there anything on these vents? Oh, that's nice. They're also low sample distance, 100 meters. That is also a crystalline cluster, so that may just be another place to get antimony. Or antimony, however you pronounce it. I've heard both. Iobia. I'll take it. Nothing on that one, I don't think. I don't see a little target critical. Alright, well, I can promise you this. We're not going to spend all night mining here. But as I'll be exploring the Boxel anyways, I'll be close by. I'll definitely hit this and fill up on everything before I try to catch up to distant worlds again. Because I'm certain before I've had my fill of the Boxel, they'll have moved on. That's alright. I do possess the fortitude to catch up. At least I believe I do. Guess we'll find out when the day comes. Yeah, so it does look like the shards are all going to be... Whoa! Antimony. As you can see, I went to the Delta Flyers School of SRV driving.
Cargo scoop retracted.
I got you. Yeah, it's definitely worth a detour over here at this point. Just for the rare materials. I think I've got mine filtered. Also, Trank, I don't know if you know this, but you can come up in the materials and you can filter them by elemental or manufactured and by grade. So I've got mine filtered by the top 2 grades. Niobium isn't even in, so I guess I need to add grade 3 to that, because apparently I'm low on it. Ooh, keep that one. I'm still low on a lot of materials. I have not done encoded. You can filter by just grade, apparently. I thought you could filter Guardian out, but maybe not. Might be making that up in my head. I hate it when they do that. They're buried in the ground. Got it. Zinc. Well, I'm not hard up for zinc, but I'll take what I can get. Oh, you know what?
Cargo scoop deployed.
Materials are much easier to pick up if your cargo scoops down. I probably destroyed that driving over it. Sure did. It's gone, gone, gone with the wind. But this ain't a bad planet to mine on, sure. It's pretty easy to traverse. And you've got a hell of a view of that, wow. That's even ringed. Okay, well, once I've got what I came for here, I guess I'm moving to take another really cool screenshot tonight. Far be it from me to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Cargo scoop retracted.
There we go. That's our 3 samples of that. am going to poke around just a tiny bit more and see what other possibilities we get off the vents here. If I can find another vent. Actually, I may not have to go back to the ship and move. I thought I was going to have to move to get that screenshot, but I may not have to. I don't feel like I'm making progress. I want to get to where I can see the rings. Hey, Andromeda over the horizon. Just peeking up. Even if it is in the wrong place. This is a pretty small planet, but I doubt if I can move, orbitally speaking, a meaningful distance this way. Yeah, I'm just barely making progress on those rings, so I guess I will have to fly over. Lava spout. Let's see what treasures it has. Usually lower tier materials. Nickel. I'll take nickel all day long. I'm forever synthing limpets, so... Yeah, we did it again. I really wish it wouldn't do that. Every time you get out of the SRV, it closes the cargo scoop. Sulfur, I'm full on sulfur. I will say, I don't miss the days of driving an SRV with the keyboard. And I don't miss the days of driving it with my HOTAS either. Driving it with an Xbox controller is infinitely more enjoyable. Yeah, the geysers are playing up. Oh, you know what? I should scan those. Didn't even think about that. Oh, what now? I changed some controls earlier, trying to get the head look working correctly. And I overwrote some things. There we go. Okay. Do I not have the fire group set up right or something? Sure don't. Do it that way. There we go. Back to turret. Now we should be in business. Silicon vapor gas vents. That just leaves the fumarole to get. See if we can get some more nickel here. It is. Cargo scoop down this time. That's helpful. Oh, that was cool. It landed right on top of me. Don't get too close to the vents. They will overheat your SRV and cook you. Iron. Really? I'm not full on iron? So I've been using weapons. Yeah. Guess that does make sense. And there's the silicate vapor fumarole.
Handbrake is on.
Alright. Go for the needy. Nope. Okay, I gotta stop or I'll just keep mining. Let's go grab the ship, get the screenshot, and see what else this Helium Rich Boxel has to offer. Because I'm sure this isn't the only cool thing out there. It is a very cool find. Where's my ship? Did some bitch leave me on this planet to die? It sure did.
Ship recalled.
Get back down here. I didn't tell you to leave. Not you, you're fine. You're perfect. Yes. Apparently the dog thought I was referring to her. Man, with that black paint job, that thing's hard to see. I do need to invert that pitch control, though. Keep screwing that up, so I'm guessing it was natively not inverted for whatever reason. Yep, there we go. Yeah, that's always how it works, too. And it's always after you've scanned the first two. And then inevitably you run past 100 other samples you could be collecting if you could take more than one sample at a time, but you're not willing to burn it off and start a new sample, because the minute you do, you'll find the third example of it. It's just the way it works. Murdoch's Law. Borrowed from Murphy. It's been a hell of a night so far. It's been a pretty good stream. Found crystal shards, T3 and T4 mats, a ringed landable body, and now a landable body in close view of a ringed gas giant.
Landing gear retracted.
Hoping I don't have to go up to orbit to get the view I want, and I think I'm gonna have to. Gotta watch that fuel. This could end up being a very expensive, embarrassing screenshot by the time I'm done if I'm not careful.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
I don't want to go up so much as forward. So I just gotta keep it out of the red, and it should let me stay in Super Cruise. Honestly, I don't know that I can get the angle I really want on this planet. At least at its current orbital position. We'll keep trying as long as we're in daylight here. Where's that star at? Must be behind me. think I can quite get where I want to go. Yeah, I never complain when it's a good high-value plant. And look at this terrain from up here. A lot of these, I don't know, what do you even call those? I mean, they've got little craters in them, I assume from past geologic activity. They almost remind me of, what is it, a steppe or a butte? I can't remember. There's a name for that geological feature. Huh! Never heard him called that, but I'll take your word for it. Or is that a like an astrogeological term? Because admittedly, my astro knowledge is not probably where it should be. Gotcha. I can see why it would apply, though. Wow, some of those are really deep. That's wild. Okay, I gotta get this... what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this screenshot, either way. Because it is a cool screenshot. And we'll take a look on the map and see if this is tidally locked. And if it's not, I'll try to get a better one when I come back. Whenever that ends up being. Because I'm definitely stopping here to fill up on mats before I take off and leave this area. So I do get another shot at the screenshot. See, I got on the ground. Those rings are just so hard to see.
Landing gear deployed.
I guess I'm going to have to make this a high-angle picture. And I think I want the ship in this one. That's pretty good, I think, for what I got to work with. Alright, let's see about this planet here. It is not tidally locked. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there's the material list that can be had here. And it's got all 3 geological features and the crystalline shards, all of which can be mined. That's excellent. Very, very cool. I'm going to bookmark that. Okay. Oh, there we go. Alright, onwards then. As I recall, that was the last thing of interest in this system. So let's boxel up here. 20 light years. Do I have the fuel? I don't know. I guess it won't show me until I'm in Super Cruise.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh yeah, we got the fuel. Look how little that takes. It always amazes me how much the fuel burn scales with distance. Because I'm jumping a third of my total range right now. I'm barely touching any fuel at all. I do think for my my Kestrel exploration build, I think I'm gonna have to find a fuel tank to throw on there, because it's really only good for about 4 high distance jumps, and that seems like a recipe to get into trouble with.
Fuel scooping.
We're just gonna sit here and fill on up. I don't remember where this scoop maxes out. Let's find out. $878. I'll take it. I very rarely run the tank down quite that far.
Fuel scooping complete.
And now I've forgotten what was in the system. 9 bodies, okay. Get some distance on the star here.
Drives operating beyond safety limits.
Am I losing my marbles? There was just a highlighted square there. I saw it. Oh, alright guys, give me 2 seconds here. The pup is indicating that she needs to step outside for a moment, so I will be right back. And we're back. You should recognize that screenshot. I didn't take it all that long ago. That was, what leg was that on? I'm reasonably certain I took that between Colonia and Rendezvous Point. Somewhere on that leg. That was the leg I was running all over in the Diamondback Inn. They were unusually high mountains. I took off from the very peak of one and watched the altimeter as I flew straight out, and they were about 15 kilometers high on the high peaks. That was something else. And I don't think I bookmarked the system. You don't see mountains like that in Odyssey Generation very often. That is some Horizon Zero stuff right there. Well, what did we get here? We got some Sadarsky Class 3s. Nothing spectacular. And a bunch of high metals with nothing on them. So, I guess it's time to move on. And the astute among you may notice that just because I'm searching a voxel sequentially doesn't mean it's going to make sense. Because this is our starting point, and as you can see, this is not really a cube. Eventually it will be a cube. Once you've gotten them all, they'll be within a cube. But the path is definitely not a straight line.
Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping.
Ooh, we got a wide ring. That could be fun.
Complete.
Must be real close to the star if it already got picked up. Asteroid belts. I love that it identifies all of those with one scan. Because I'm here to tell you, if I had to scan every chunk of an asteroid belt, I'd never scan any of them. I don't have the patience for that. There's absolutely nothing of value there to me. Those are indeed some wide rings. We'll go take a peek at that before we move on. This is definitely my speed of exploration. I appreciate what others do. You know, I understand that Arcanic is out hunting green gas giants with a passion and fury that is literally all-consuming. So he's very specifically tailored his exploration to meet that goal. Stratum Lemexis. I don't think I've ever scanned one of those. So we'll have to check out 1C. That just might be worth a land. All kinds of new stuff popping up in here. Alright, the rings first. Actually, I'm going to set my filters up. I don't want asteroid clusters. There we go. Much cleaner. That I can live with. There are some really, really wide rings out there. Like, these are identified, and they are a pretty good chunk, especially in comparison to the size of the body they're around. But there are some that are like a third as thin, but they're like 100 light seconds from one side of the ring to the other. You usually can't see them because they're so low density you can't see that they're there, but you can fly into them. I've never done it, but I've certainly heard tales of people just flying through system and super cruise and smacking into an exclusion zone that they flat out didn't see, and it was a set of those really wide rings that just weren't visible. Just kind of rude when you think about it, that they're even set up that way in the game. Yeah. I mean, it's no great loss, right? It's, what, 1% hull and maybe 1% off some of your modules? It's not like it's going to blow you up, but still very rude. Some are, especially the ones I've noticed around the icy bodies. Sometimes you'll get, and I used to like hunt screenshots of those. I took quite a few on the Apollo 14 expedition. Let me see here, since we're sitting in Super Cruise anyways. See if I can find one of those as an example. Because I used to be really fascinated by those, so I was kind of hunting icy bodies with those fairly faint rings around them. That one's pretty cool, but not quite what I'm talking about. I mean, that's an okay example. Yeah. So some rings like these, only they don't always have those really high visibility bands in them. And there's ring in between. If you get in there, you can kind of see it. It's pretty faint. There's stuff in the middle. Now that is interesting body. Is that an ice body or is that a gas giant? It looks like an icy body. It is an icy body. Okay. Okay, Bert. Flip back around here and get a view. Thankfully, Delta's not here to quote me, but I've seen wider. Actually, a really pretty ice planet as they go. It's got a neat surface texture. I wonder about those cracks. Are those mountains or are those like surface fissures? I'm not going to waste time going down there to see, though. 1B. 1B and 1C had the biologicals, so let's go see what's on them. And if they contain things with a reasonable percentage of probability that I haven't scanned, I'll take a trip down. If not, we'll move on. It's a good question. I don't know if you can or not. I'm going to say no. Maybe? I can't remember what the symbol is. No, it's got to have the half moon to be landable. So that is one of those thick atmospheres or high pressure atmospheres. It is 5.51 atmos. Argon rich. Yeah, okay, yeah, Buddy's telling me it's not landable. I always forget what the symbol is on the map. I'm so used to looking at a tool to tell me. I guess that's really poor practice when it's all said and done. I should be more versed in the in-game tools. It did look interesting. The surface texture was... I mean, it would probably be like glass when you got down there, except for those cracks, right? Not a lot of surface detail, but that's nice. I mean, especially at SRV, the traction is so dog shit in the Scarab that on an icy world, the slightest little impediment will send you off to, orbit the planet. And not in the intentional way that some people have done it. Some people have, like, parked over geysers and gone from one planet to another. You have to have, like, a nice, tight set of tidally locked moons or something, but it has been done. There's videos of it out there. Take it easy, Pete. Thanks for hanging out for so long. I appreciate you. And everybody else, go check out Pete. He does Elite content as well as other space games. He was playing a new one, I believe this evening, weren't you, Pete? Or last night, maybe? It was recent in my feed. I admit I did not catch it. But definitely go have a look at Pete. He's an all-around good egg. What am I stuck in the... Oh, there's a planet below me. Gotcha. Sorry, Trank. Delta's not around, and I don't have the pool he does. That ought to cover it. Oh, yeah. What have we got? Bacterium. What's the Ossus? Fractus, apparently. And the tussock is Propagito. The bacterium is Orisis. So none of those are really anything I'm looking for. They're also all green variations of what they are, according to BioInsights. And I have recently, despite the fact that it's my favorite color, developed an unhealthy distaste for the color green in this game. It's only acceptable as an eye color, as a ship paint job, and that is it. I expect my biologies to be varied. Yeah, I forgot to look in that last system what the orbital period was. Not that it matters, I'm going to be back in there, but if it's something silly like several days, I should know. Yep. You got saddled with the wrench. There you go. See, it's a good luck charm. It found you your biology you were missing. Two should do it again. I don't actually know if I've got that set up or not. I don't remember what I did and did not have set up in Streamlabs back in the day, and I just kind of ported everything over. So, Bacterium and Tussock is it. 1,000,000 credits apiece before the bonus, not worth it. So that does it. Oh, hang on. Body 1 is a star with rings? Come again? A brown dwarf with rings. I guess I have seen that before. And I don't know that it's terribly uncommon other than in my own perception of it. Huh. How about that? Let's see what's next on the party trick list. Ooh, 60 light years. That one's a little more of a haul. I do have something I don't normally do, but I do have the Boxel search set up to skip systems I've visited and to try to skip ones that are already in EDSM. Because if something's already been found, there's no sense in me rediscovering the wheel. I mean, if I wanted to visit points of interest out here, I would go through the codex and bookmark them and do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. It does appear that I have not set up the heist. So I need to make a note to do that. Oh, I guess I didn't give it an amount, did I? May not have gone through if it is set up. Try it again. Won't hurt nothing.
Fuel scooping.
15 bodies, we'll take it.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
We're up to a total of 160 in the Boxel so far, out of the 7 visited systems, and it looks like the winner is by far the Rocky Bodies, nearly all of which have been landable. Second place is Icy, third is High Metal Content, followed by Class 3 Gas Giants. Those are stats for real nerds. That's how you know you're nerding out. When you have a tool to auto spreadsheet it, you're nerding out. In all the best ways. I love it. Three geologicals. That might be a good place to mine. Although I think I have found the local honey hole, so to speak. Running real heavy on the high metal contents in this one. Sure would have been neat if any of them had anything on them. Well, that one's terraformable at least. Which reminds me, I keep meaning to look. Where does it actually say that? It has to say that somewhere, right? It can't just be the tools telling me that things are terraformable. Did it pop up? I just missed it. I think after 2,000 hours in this game, I would know all these things. Honestly, though, there's just so much. Like, you can pick any particular game loop and really sink your teeth in. And spend hours, hundreds of hours, learning all about it and not know a thing about something else in the game. Anti-Xeno combat. I know nothing about anti-Xeno combat. I know nothing about suit engineering. I don't know a whole lot about combat, to be perfectly honest.
System scan complete.
Oh, those are neat rings. I'm not going to go visit it, but I will after that, just because that's an example of those. Let's see. Bodies 10 and 11. Oh, and they're close. That's even better. That's neat on the radar. They're all kind of ducks in a row there. It's always strange to me when I see it, because like graphically we're used to seeing a solar system represented that way, but in reality they're not all in the same plane. It really doesn't appear that way at all, except on the 2D projection we use for education. But in that instance, at least except for one or two outliers, it looks like they mostly are in the same plane. That was a little premature on the throttle. 7. I'll bet we can get it. 4. Tell you what, we'll give it 6 and move on, because I'm certain that'll do the job. I say 10 and 11.
Surface scan complete.
Got it. Not that I had a lot of doubt. That is the pre-engineered grade 5 scanner. It definitely works its magic. We got 10:30. I think I got at least another 30 minutes in me. We'll go ahead and run till 11. Nice even 3-hour stream. Can I help you? Well, hello. There's not room for both of us up here, I promise. This chair's big enough for me. And half, well, a third of you. Yes, hi. If you weren't so sweet, you'd be a pain in the ass, you know that? She's a good dog. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Come on, up down. Just gonna lay down. Oh. Yep. Let's not eat that planet for breakfast. That's what I get for petting a dog. I know it's not a currency you understand, Bella, but you almost cost me a case of Lavian brandy. It's still closer than I generally like, but we'll work with it. Get myself a little bit over the edge, because I find when you're in closer, those horizon markers aren't quite as accurate as I would like them to be. And usually on the inside, like they're cupped in a little bit. Yeah, see, I overshot a little, and that's about right.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
And that probe is a wonder. I love that thing. Got that right before I left for the Apollo 14 expedition. There was a CG for it, and I hit the mark, and we left, and then I had to drag it out to the carrier group. I think we had 4. We had 3 or 4 carriers on that expedition. Not that we needed it. There was only like 60 of us. There was kind of one official carrier and then a couple of players just brought theirs for kicks and giggles.
Frameshift drive charging.
And that view of the galactic disk, like when you're far out, it's more impressive because the density around it is lower. But I feel like we're in the sweet spot right now because it's got that nice color banding to it and stuff too. It's a really neat view of the door. I think we're headed towards a B.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, these things are just massive. It's an A. Okay. A's and B's. Should have just called it Big Ass Blue Star. The ABS. Ababas. I'll see myself out. Ah, this is a nice change. All Rockies and gas giants. Way to make a liar out of me, Elite. I appreciate that. Honestly, those look like some pretty wide rings, too. Less in relation to the size of the parent body, though. There is nothing on these. Of course, that's kind of how I understand helium boxel hunting to go. It's either hitting real good or it ain't hitting at all. Who knows? I mean, there's 170 some odd systems here. I gotta find something super cool, right? I'm already kind of happy. I've already got some great screenshots and the crystalline shards out of it. And I'm sure I'll bump into a biology or two I haven't scanned yet. A little bit like complaining that your Porsche has the wrong color leather seats. A lot of bodies. A lot of them have geology. That seems to be about the haul I'm gonna get here. Oh, nope. Got a water world. A ringed water world. That's not super rare, but it's on the rarer side of not rare. As rings go, anyways. Oh, my chat froze up on me. Let's see. In the map description. Oh, okay. I got you. Which tool do you like that you're not sure about the resources on? You talking about observatory? This one? Because the answer to resources on that is not at all. It barely even knows it's running. It's, I would say, not much heavier than journal processor. Yeah, let me take a gander in the task manager here. Yeah, running all those plugins, it's using between 0 and 0.2% CPU. 100 megs of RAM. So it just coasts along. I mean, it's lighter than journal processor, or lighter than ED Buddy for sure, because it's a much simpler graphical interface. That was the first third-party tool I started using. Another set of shards? Get the hell out. No way. And I haven't run into those hardly at all in the almost 2 years I've been playing, and I've bumped into 2 of them in one night. 2 undiscovered ones in one night. Okay. I'm starting to get the hype on Helium Rich Boxels, and I'm here for it. Oh, this may have ruined me as an explorer. Now I'll be one of these loons out here hunting these voxels down and running them all the time. Oh god, what has happened? Ooh, that's a pretty gas giant. Not pretty enough to go all the way over there, unless there's something of interest around it. I cannot believe there's another one. And I'm pretty certain it's actually there, because again, BioInsights is only listing it as a possibility. And by possibility, I mean it says there is for sure a biosignal there, and BioInsights is saying that that is the signal. What am I missing? Just gas giants? Oh, there's probably one right in here. It sure is. I call that texture the peanut butter milkshake. Alright. Oh, there it is. That brings our total body count to a $1.94. And B3 is our thick ammonia water world. Of course, it's going to be all the way out in the boonies. That's okay, because the shards are out there too. I think the shards actually have to be out there. Let's set the old Super Cruise assist and peruse the codex, because I think they only spawn so far away from the star. Being as how I've looked at their page 3 times tonight, you'd think I would know the answer to that. Okay, they only have to be 1200 light seconds out. That's not terrible. I was thinking they had to be further out. Hold on a tick. Man, there's some cool stuff in this sector. I've never found anemones. I just saw the ice crystals. I've seen silicate crystals a couple times. I've never seen the astropods or the astro trees. I did see the squid mollusks. I've never scanned that. Only scanned 1 or 2 of those. Never seen a fumarola. I just got the first Receptus I've ever scanned. Very cool. Are there any really wild astronomical things? There is a helium-rich gas giant. Huh. I may have to go see that, because I've never seen one. Fascinating. This game is just a rabbit hole wrapped inside of a puzzle, disguised as an enigma. I really should have gone back and gotten the Phantom. It does SCO better. Still not great. Still a Gen 1 ship, but I think honestly out of all of them, the Asp is the worst. It's a little bit like riding a bull. Just over a third of a tank to get over here. That is ridiculous. I love the aspects, but it really is showing its age. Another ringed body with crystalline shards. What are the... Oh no, this is the water world. That's right. Losing my marbles.
Surface scout at 50%.
Yeah. That's some skill right there, baby. Threading a probe through the rings.
Surface scout complete.
Oh, what do we have here? A bunch of core mining potentials. And I want B2A. That is our crystalline shards. Awful lot of rings in my skybox right now. Seem to be everywhere. Yeah, I've noticed that. There really does. Not that I'm mad. I mean, I like ringed planets as much as the next guy. Oh, this is a tiny little moon. Look at that in relation to the parent body. What is B2? Oh, that's a Class 2 gas giant, so I guess it's fairly large and in charge. It also has an A-B ring. A lot of brown rings too, I'm noticing. Not quite the spread. I don't know that I've seen. Well, I guess that last one had an icy ring, didn't it? The Water World. I've never really looked into the spawn mechanics on the rings. I'm not sure what generates one ring over another. I'm certain they're out there. Somebody out there knows what does it. It's probably on the Canon website, to be perfectly honest. 2 probes. I don't believe so. I think 1 probe will do it. And assuming that we're right and there's shards there, I'm definitely going to want to land on the light side, so let's just go ahead and mosey on over there.
Surface scat at 50%. Surface scan complete.
Lava spouts, fumaroles, vents, and shards. That is what I like to see. That nice big fat purple patch right there. I can't believe that. All the times I've never seen them, and here they are. Right out in front in the open. Apparently I just wasn't looking in the right spots. Let's try over here. Okay, and I've got a heading of 290-ish. So I need to travel in like the 300 maybe. No. That's 300. So like 240-ish is the way that runs. I always try to take a note of that when I'm coming in, especially if it's an oblong feature like that, so that if I do need to fly, I at least have a general direction that'll keep me in the zone. There are none near the bubble. FDev removed them. They used to be there, and people... It's kind of like the brain trees, you know, I think it hasn't worked really since I've been playing. I got away with it once, and it got removed not too long after that. But used to be the way to farm your raw materials. I'd better get some altitude here, because I'm not slowing down nearly fast enough. But the way you farmed them was you flew up overhead just like this, and you fired a flak cannon, a remote release flak cannon, which you squeeze your trigger to fire, you let off, and it explodes a starburst round. You fired that at the brain trees, and it knocked all the stuff loose. And then you would back up out of render distance and send collector limpets in to pick them up. That way you didn't have to hassle with SRV mining. And they removed that. They changed something about the way the render distance works, so that now the limpets get hung up in the brain trees when they try to go collect. And similarly, there used to be crystalline shards around the bubble, and apparently that was just too easy. We can't have players having fun. So they went and removed them all. The nearest one I know of to the bubble, because Andy and I were having a discussion about this. Let's see, that's the bubble. It's in Sanguinius Rim, I think. Yeah, there's one there. And it's way out there. Well, I guess it's not way out there, but it's... I mean, Barnard's Loop is, what, 1,000 light years? So that's probably 3,200 light years or so out of the bubble. It's not a quick trip.
Handbrake is on.
And really, I don't know why they removed them. I mean, I get it, kind of, but they're not, it's not like they're easier to mine than brain trees or anything else. They're still a pain in the ass to mine. You still have to come out and shoot them and collect them. It's not anywhere near as significant as the brain tree thing. That I kind of understand. That was definitely cheating the system a little bit.
Cargo scoop deployed.
I don't know that I've ever known how to correctly pronounce that. Oh, wait, I need a sample.
Cargo scoop retracted.
I must have got really lucky, that first one being polonium, because apparently that's not how they work. Andy was thinking they all had polonium on them. I guess it makes sense that they don't, though, because the brain trees aren't all, like, selenium or anything else going after. For science sake, we'll pop off another one of these and see if it is the same thing. It is, okay, so the ones on this planet, at least, it seems,
Cargo scoop deployed.
are not the same material we were getting. I'll try one more. And I realized the sample size of 3 all from the same area is really poor statistical work. But it would appear they're all technetium or technetium or however you pronounce it. One of those things on the bottom side of the periodic table with a funny name. That's what we're going to call it. Alright, one more sample seals the deal. Now, 0.11 G gravity. I was like, why am I flying so well? This would be a fun planet to have an SRV race on. I would be willing to bet they are. Although you can get jumponium materials from other things too. You can get them off vents and fumaroles and things like that. Yeah, these are all that material. Which I think I just
Cargo scoop deployed.
beefed and destroyed. Because I forgot. What is jumponium? I looked to see if I could make it, but I never bothered to look and see. So, carbon, vanadium, and germanium for the basic. Add cadmium and niobium for the standard. And then it's carbon, germanium, arsenic, niobium, yttrium, and polonium for the premium. So it looks like my limiting factor right now is yttrium, which I haven't found any source of yet. I'll assume there's some at waypoint 6. But I'm not too awful worried about it either. I mean, I know they've got to cater to everybody, and I know some people are out there running much lower jump ranges than I am. I mean, all said and done, the ASP isn't doing too bad. I think I can push the Phantom to 78 light years. And then, of course, I can just run the Caspian and be done with it at the same time. And it is pretty lightweight. I mean, I could definitely get its jump range up over 90. I was playing with a Mandalay in Coriolis. Now that they've included the pre-engineered modules and stuff, I was having to play around just to see what I could milk it for. And I had it set up all the way up at 98 light years. I haven't tried it with a Caspian yet. I'm fairly certain you can break 100 with the Caspian. If you can't, you can get damn close. Yeah, what a night. 2 or 3 good screenshots, 2 sets of crystal shards, a helium boxel. I don't know where they're headed that we're going to need it. Let's look at the map here. Oh yeah, I'm not on my ship.
Handbrake is on.
Oh, for the love of Pete. This thing doesn't move when you want it to, and it rolls away when you want it to hold still. Seems about right. I assume we're headed out to Mare Somnia. That would be my guess. If I were a bet man. So right now we're what, in the Vales? No, we're in the Fomorian Rift. That's the Vales. And I think that is Mare Somnia. I'm guessing since waypoint 6 is what is this it? I bookmarked it. Yeah, that's waypoint 6. So my guess is if they're saying to bring Jumponium, that we're going to cross an arm somewhere. Because when you get into those in between the arms, especially if you're going somewhere like out on the very edge rim, there it really does drop a lot in density. There's places it's quite a problem for fuel rats sometimes on deep space rescues, because sometimes you'll have to route. You'll have a guy here, and you'll have somebody needing a rescue over here, but this guy may have to route like clear over to here just to find a place he can bridge over. So my guess would be that we're crossing an arm at some point somewhere in the near future. And from here, we're on the edge to go this way. Or we could cross over this way. I don't really know if they intend to take us further out to the rim or back in towards the core. I mean, the core's, it's got a lot of meat. There's plenty to explore there because the star density is ridiculously high. But a lot of the neat stuff is found in the arms. Like, I have no idea. I would guess with the location of the waypoint there, though, that we may be going down. I know this region is included in the Earth-like hunt, as are these. So we may be like coming down towards the galaxy center and then crossing over and snaking our way back out. I'm not really sure. But there's something else to think about. We're in March, and the expedition's only supposed to run through April. So I would be willing to bet that what we're actually going to do is kind of zigzag through this region, because these are all good regions for Earth 2.0 finds. We still have the station to deploy, which we haven't done, and I imagine it's going to be in this quadrant somewhere. So, I don't know. I'll stock up. I mean, if I don't use it, it's material I've got. It's never bad to have material on hand. Just one of them things, I guess. It's hard to not be happy you've got it once you do. It's not a terrible thing. But I'm going to call it there for a night, folks. We'll be back probably Thursday. Thursday, maybe. For the squad event, we're going to do some colonization over in the Sinew FA sector. And then Sunday will be the normal time. We'll probably be back out here again. And for anybody that needs somewhere else to go, I can't raid, but I can send you over here to Project SimStar. If you've never watched him, he is an elite content guy, and he has got a full motion rig set up. He doesn't do VR, but he does full motion. And he's got a lot of peripheral switches and things that he's wired up, and it's a neat setup. He's a fun guy, so go give him a look and see if you like what he's got. Hit the like on the way out for me. It helps me out. You know, subscribe if you really enjoyed the content. And we'll see you guys out here next time. We'll do some more exploring. We'll catch you then.